My name is Layla, and I grew up in a poor area on the outskirts of the city. The streets were always crowded and filled with the sounds of daily life. Every morning, street vendors arranged their wooden stalls and called out prices for bread, fruits, and vegetables. Children laughed and ran through the narrow lanes, where old buildings leaned close like they were whispering secrets to each other. The air was dusty, the walls cracked, but to me it was home, full of energy and warmth. Our home was tiny, just 2 small rooms and a cramped kitchen. We didn't own much, only a few worn-out cushions on the floor and a short table where we shared our meals. Even with so little, there was always laughter, and we found happiness in each other. Every evening, we would sit together and talk about our day, sharing our dreams and hopes for the future. That little space held more love than many grand houses. My father worked as the local street cleaner. Before sunrise, he would dress in his faded green uniform, take his broom and a cloth bag with a piece of bread, and head out to clean the streets. He worked long hours under the blazing sun, sweeping, collecting garbage, and doing the work no one else wanted to do. But he never once complained. When he came home, dusty and exhausted, he still smiled. He didn't say he was tired. He sat with us and shared stories from his day. His quiet strength showed me that there is dignity in every honest job. My mother prepared our meals using simple ingredients: rice, beans, and whatever vegetables she could afford. She cooked with a gentle smile, and always reminded us to be grateful. After dinner, she asked about our school day and our goals. Her kindness made our modest kitchen feel like a place of joy and love. At school, I was often called the cleaner's daughter. Some of the children laughed at me or avoided me altogether. They didn't want to be seen playing with someone from a poor family. During breaks, I usually sat by myself under an old oak tree. Not because I was shy, but because the others feared being judged too. Still, I answered every question in class with confidence. But the label stuck, and I knew I was seen as different. One day, our teacher asked, "Layla, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I raised my hand, heart pounding, ready to answer. But before I could speak, a girl shouted, "She wants to be a cleaner like her dad." The class laughed loudly. My face burned with shame, and I fought back tears. I stared at my desk, frozen. Then the teacher came to me and gently placed her hand on my shoulder. She said softly, "Layla, I understand. My father was a guard. We didn't have much either. But I worked hard and never let it stop me." Her words felt like light breaking through dark clouds. I lifted my head and made a quiet promise to myself. I wouldn't let cruel words define me. I started carrying a small book with me everywhere, my secret tool against self-doubt. I read every chance I got. Stories gave me strength and filled me with new hope. At home, I helped my siblings with their studies. I had 3 older brothers, Anas, Mar, and Khaled, and a younger sister, Mesa. We sat on the floor with our notebooks and shared pencils. I made simple lesson plans and asked them questions about schoolwork. Before and after dinner, we studied. I would always say, "Let's make Baba proud." Once they were asleep, I'd stay up, reading by a dim light and finishing my own schoolwork. When exam time came, I studied even harder. And when the results were announced, I was named the top student in the city. People were shocked. They kept repeating, "The cleaner's daughter is number 1." I felt proud, but I stayed humble. I remembered all the times I'd been laughed at, and smiled. I got accepted into medical school. The journey was tough. My father took on more work to pay my fees. He believed in me without question. During my first year, I was standing in line at the university cafeteria when a girl from my old school saw me. She looked surprised and said, "Layla? Is that really you?" I smiled and said, "Yes, it's me." She looked down and whispered, "I'm sorry for how we treated you. You're incredible." I nodded and walked away. I didn't need revenge. My success was my answer. Years passed. I became a doctor and worked at a major hospital. I later earned a scholarship to study overseas and returned with more knowledge. I married a fellow doctor, and we now have 2 sons who love books just like I did. Our home is full of stories and laughter. With my savings, I bought a new house for my parents, bright, full of windows, and with a small garden where my father now rests and watches the sunrise in peace. My siblings also chased their dreams. Anas became a software engineer. Mar builds roads. Khaled is a dentist. Mesa is about to finish pharmacy school. As for me, I now teach neurology at the medical university, helping students find their own paths. It brings me joy to pass on what I've learned. At our front door, we hung a photo of my father in his green uniform, broom in hand. We see it every morning and feel proud. We've never taken it down. That picture reminds us all that respect isn't earned by what you wear, but by how you live and love. If you ever feel tempted to judge someone by their job or home, stop and think. That person might one day become your doctor or teacher, or even the one who saves your life. What matters most isn't how someone starts, but where they choose to go. I've come to understand something deeply important. Dignity doesn't come from fine clothes or perfect things. It comes from persistence, compassion, and love. My father's shoes were worn, but his pride was strong. People once whispered and looked down on him. Now they listen to me and respect my voice. But I don't speak to prove myself. I speak to honor him. Greatness can come in simple clothes. My life was not easy, and I didn't have everything. But I had heart. So if your story feels small right now, remember this. Even a small seed can grow into something tall and strong. Your past does not decide your future. What matters